Warning! This video contains adult content not suitable for children.
Yo, what's up, Kokomo? This is the Kokomo Press Podcast. As always, I am Jordan Bell, and I have the greatest co-host ever in
Jordan Granger. I'm right here.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, what's going on?
I don't know. We're a little light today, right? We were supposed to have a guest.
A very special guest.
I thought so, and
yeah.
Then I don't know what happened.
I know he's a magician, but I haven't seen him.
Oh,
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey. By the way, just in case you didn't know, I'm Jim Turnpaugh. I'm a local magician, and I'm doing a show here in about a week.
Yeah, and you're good. We've seen you. We've met
was
you.
awesome.
Yeah, that's. I didn't expect that, honestly.
Not at all.
All right. So I'm going to suspend my disbelief again, one more time. That's awesome. No, that's really cool. I met you at the show we did at the American Dream Hi-Fi.
Yep.
My band was doing an album release, and you were there doing magic.
Corey
Kotkowski, yeah.
Kotkowski's, yeah.
Big Kotkowski birthday bash.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yes.
The way every time you say it, I like the.
I had to practice it a lot. So
It's showmanship.
yeah. I'm trying to learn the.
That was probably one of the best shows overall that I've been a part of, and I've done a lot of shows. We used to do festivals with Right to Play Music and a bunch of stuff, but it was just like between you hosting and having the whole wrestling thing with you and Christian Cash, you doing magic. I don't know how many people were messaging me afterwards like, I'm so mad I couldn't go when I found out there was.
When I walked in, I thought, man, this is going to be kind of small, but when it started, it was great.
It kept popping. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then my band got to play, and we got to release our album, and I had such a fun show, and it was goofy and.
That show was amazing for me. Just one, I got to see his magic, and plus we did a lot of good things. If you
the Narcan,
yeah,
still have the Narcan over here.
Yeah, we did.
Corey
Just
always
in
comes
case.
up with that. Yeah, just in case one of us
goes
crazy here.
So you're here, and tell us about what's coming up here in the future for you. As we see, you're also repping local brand.
Absolutely.
Sit means sit. So
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
I'll tell you a little about those guys here in a little bit. But as far as me, and I'm performing with fellow magician Caleb Wiles. He's from Indianapolis. But we've been wanting to do a show prior to COVID, and it kind of got pushed aside because nobody wanted to come out. But once things started opening up and people were a little okay with doing away with exactly it's time. It's time. Yeah, it was a notification. And but they told us, the people told us kind of by watching on Facebook that we need some live entertainment anymore. And you're probably aware of that playing in the band.
We both
and stuff.
know he does wrestling. He's like
wrestling
manager. So
absolutely,
we're all performers in here. We all know how hard it's been for us the last couple years.
Oh God, yes. Yeah. I know many of people who are just losing their business,
chomping at the bits too, trying to do something. I mean, as much as the business aspect is such a big part of it, and I don't want to undersell that part of it, but also just like for our serotonin levels, we're all people that thrive off of this.
Absolutely,
this is what makes us happy. So it's hard for us not to have this.
Absolutely,
I think it's good timing though too, because I think people are hungry for stuff to want to do, and again, that's why we're here, right? We're trying to represent Kokomo, trying to represent that we're going against the grain of, hey, there's nothing to do around here. We've been going against that before other people tried to steal it from us. So, this is what we bring to you. So, your show is,
it's called Magic at the Mansion.
Magic at the Mansion.
And we're calling it that because it's over in the Cyberling Mansion area. It's actually at the Elliot House, not the Cyberling Mansion. But it's going to be this Saturday, the 19th. Awesome. There's going to be 2 shows. There's going to be a 6:30 show and an 8 show. So far, the 6:30 show's gotten pretty packed, so if you're wanting to get tickets for that, I'd get them pretty soon. Yeah. There's already tickets bought for the gate show, but there's still more seats for that.
Yeah, so make sure you guys, it's a pre-pay. You can't pay there.
You buy them online.
Make sure you buy them online. We will put the link in our post so people can find it.
Absolutely.
And we'll let people know.
Flash it down here.
Yeah. We'll even try to, we'll put it right, it's going to be down here. We'll put the link there. We'll put it
right about
here. We'll put it on there for people to find. Get the tickets, come to the show. I'm excited, but I'm really, really sad. I'm excited for you, really, really sad for me, because I actually have a band show the same night in Lafayette. And I'm like, of course. And our friend Courtney, one of the admins of the page, she was one of the biggest. She was the most mad that she missed you more than my band, more than her friends. She was like, I cannot believe you've seen what she actually got COVID the weekend of that. Yeah, rest in peace. I'm just kidding. She's but yeah, she got COVID and she was so heartbroken because she wanted to see my band. She wanted to see my friend Maddie. She wanted to see Jordan.
Yeah.
And then but it was you. It was all you. She was really mad about.
She was like, "There's a magician! Oh my!"
And then she yelled at me because she's like, "How are you going to have a show off yet? The same night as a magician has a show here. How many times do you have to hurt me, Jordan?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Does she have to be with you?
No, she doesn't. She can go. I'm like,
free will.
She's got kids. Bring the kids.
Well, actually, for the show, we've. I don't want to say we've gotten rid of the kids, but we're putting it a limit on the age for 12 years, just because Caleb and I, neither one of us are big kid show performers, because there's that kind of stigma when
she has a 12 and 13-year-old. Well, she has the little one, but she's a 12 and 13-year-old.
Yeah,
that's
but
perfect.
I understand the vibe. You don't look, this is Kokomo, and some of y'all have Rugrat-ass kids. That's what he's saying. And he doesn't want your Rugrat-ass kids running around while he's trying to entertain.
I'm not bringing
He's not
my
saying
kids.
those words.
He's like, I got enough kids at home. I don't want to bring them.
I get
I'm
the
right there
vibe.
with you.
But the great thing is that we all have things going on because you have magic at the mansion, at the Elliot House. You have your show.
Yeah.
I also will be in Lafayette this weekend at BMFX Wrestling. So check out. There's all sorts
You're gonna be in
of
Lafayette
So you guys are competing against each other?
Not at all. No, it's all love, yo. It's all love. Just the
Yeah.
fact that we're all working.
What time is your show?
It's out of time. I don't know.
Yeah, it's on.
Look it up.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that. Well, I got to be there at 8. I was hoping that. I knew you had the 6:30 show. I was like, maybe I could sneak it. I won't be able to make it, but there will be more.
Yeah.
We will do more.
We're hoping that if it gets the reviews, I guess, that we like, maybe we'll actually have it at the Cyberlink Mansion this time. Next time.
That'd be cool.
Just because we were talking earlier, nobody really knows what these places look like inside.
Yeah, that's the truth.
So,
we drive by them and we're like, that's the Cyberlink Mansion, kids, and you just keep driving.
Yeah.
Well, I've never been in there.
I've never been in the actual mansion part of it, so I have no idea.
I don't know. I went on a tour of it long ass time ago.
Was it the high school made
Back
you do
in
that?
school?
Yeah, back in school. I remember it's a dope looking house. Just because it's old and I don't know. I'm the wrong person to be like, hey, let's do something at this house because I'll do something fucking crazy. Let's see if we can flip somebody upside down and
You're the reason I had to sign a waiver.
Probably. Look, I want to make sure stuff's safe, but I want to bring people in for a reason. I mean, you got the showcase. You might as well show.
Well, the one thing about Courtney, who, like I said, she's the one that's so mad that she missed you the first time, is she's part of a ghost hunting group. So she's also really into supernatural stuff. So that's to her, cool. The whole idea of seeing a magician, she's so excited. And I mean, and then the Cyberlink Mansion, the Elliot House, all that area is so old. They're probably you might even have some help from some inspectors or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. You're like, hold on, this trick wasn't supposed to be that good. What happened?
Wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know, but that's Magic 101. If something happens and it looks cool, take credit for it.
100%. 100%. That's perfect.
I think that's Wrestle 101 too, because that's one of the first things I learned too. Hey, if something messed up during, just go with it. And if it works,
and as a musician,
awesome.
It's the same thing. How do they know that we didn't mean to do that?
Exactly. Nobody knows what you're going to do.
Yeah, that wrong note was totally supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about? Yeah, every single time.
Yeah.
Okay. But the Elliot House, that's really cool. I've actually, it's right next to it, right?
Yeah,
right
it's just if you're actually staring at the Cyberlink Mansion, it's to your left.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen it, and it's obviously another older building.
Yeah.
That Silk Stocking neighborhood is what the old Silk Stocking.
Exactly, with all the bricks around the outside and gates and stuff.
Just make sure you don't take Phillips to get there, everybody, because that road is a mess right now.
Yes.
Can you take Phillips? Is
know.
that a road anymore? I'm pretty sure they just eradicated it. So I don't know.
You aren't even lying. That's the truth. It's so bad right now. It's one of my jokes.
They want you to know what roads are like in third world countries.
Oh, yeah. It's so bad. It's like worse than the Romans. The Romans built better roads than this.
I've been on cobblestone roads that are better than the roads in Kokomo, and this is not cap.
You'd probably have a smoother ride in Walmart. And I mean, not moving anything.
No, with the cart with the jank
bum
wheel.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's awesome.
This is facts, yo.
It's so bad trying to get through there. I was like, I was driving there. That's where that joke came from. I was driving through there. I'm like, this is awful. Like, and they just fixed all this to Jefferson and all that. They just redid all the roads. And now they're redoing it again.
I'm sure it'll get better, and then some other road will be like.
They just shut down Markland too. Did you guys know that one? They shut down Markland all the way to 31.
Yeah, I just came by it.
Apperson to 31. Nuts. It's like 2 lanes.
Jesus.
Yeah, I drove it last night. It was like 2-lane university.
Well, they have to do something too, because around there, Markland, as you go into Dixon in there, like it's always getting flooded and shit. So like they really need to do something around there. But like I don't know, there's always fucking.
You and Caleb have competition because the city is trying to make all of our routes disappear. Everywhere we get.
That's a whole other
after
show.
I saw you, I know after we did the show with you, after I saw you, it was great because like I was like everybody I talked to there was like. That's one of the things they talked about the most. Cool. Was like how great it was having you there and how good you were. They're like, he's so good, and I'm like, yeah. So I was thinking about it, and I was sitting there, and I was like, I'm gonna write a joke about you and tag your page. TV, because I mean, we have a platform. We have a little bit of a platform, and we try to use it for everything. And so I saw it, and I made the joke about my dad disappearing,
Absolutely.
and then you had the perfect response. I was like, I don't do that joke anymore, everybody. I don't do it. And I was dying on that because I was like, I loved it because you were like, I'm part of it.
Absolutely. You gotta nowadays. You gotta be able to take a joke and realize a joke is a joke, and it wasn't meant to be hurtful.
No, not at all. It was actually more self-deprecated than anything.
Absolutely, exactly. You were taking a shot at yourself.
Yeah. And I was like, and it's funny because growing up, I didn't have a dad, so it was like a perfect joke for me. So I was like, this is actually killer. Mm-hmm. It's like he was in the delivery room. I met him in the delivery room, and he made my dad miss me.
Lack of fathers is
didn't
how
even
Jordan
give
and
you
I
a chance.
bonded.
Didn't give a chance to get to know you.
Yeah, I didn't know you. Yeah, and then he's like, I don't do that. I don't do that trick anymore. I promise, I won't do that to you. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited because you. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about Caleb. Caleb is we're unfortunately Caleb is in Indianapolis. He couldn't make it today.
Yeah.
So we couldn't get him on
prices. Here. Geez, you wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, gas price. How's he going to get here? Yeah. There's no possible way.
Exactly. He hasn't been performing very long. As with COVID and everything, he hasn't saved up enough money to get up here.
Yeah. He's got to do this in order to make the money to get back. He's like, I got to be able to eat, and I got to be able to get gas to get home.
Exactly.
Oh, come on.
He can get here. He may not get back.
That's a whole separate charge in the booking, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to
travel
add that
fees.
in. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I need M&Ms and more gas.
Yeah.
Two gas cans.
Actually
send me home with 10-gallon jug joints. Like, yes.
Oh, God, yeah. But, Caleb lives down in Indianapolis, and he's been doing magic probably as long as I have. I mean, he and I started, I don't want to say professionally, because we both started about 8 years old when you get interested and everything like that. But it just, for some of us, it just keeps growing, just like with music and stuff. Lots of kids want to play guitar and stuff like that, and then they just kind of push it away when they realize how hard it is and how much you got to practice. But for him and I, we just it just kept going. And for me, it's about 20 years ago when I started doing it professionally or semi-professionally, because I have my, as my wife would say, real job that pays the bills.
Of course.
And
shoot life.
Yeah. But Caleb has written quite a few books on magic, his own original material, stuff that people do, stuff that I actually do in my show. He's created DVDs, like a 3 DVD set that you can buy online. Oh, wow. He's been on Penn and Teller Fool Us twice.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Did he fool them?
No, he didn't.
Dang it.
The first time he was on is the one that you see his quote, because Penn says, "I really wish you would have fooled me because you were that goddamn good."
Awesome. I love that. But that's like that's a quote you put on a book.
It
like,
is. But it is. It's on his Facebook page.
I don't blame him.
It was really, really good. Because in the episode, Penn said, "It's either this or you fooled us."
Yeah.
And he said, unfortunately, it was that. So,
yeah.
And then the second time it was on, he actually created a trick specifically for that. He created the Penn and Teller Fool Us at home game, and it was all based on that. But my favorite was the first one because he came to me and said, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And we kind of brainstormed it, and then he went to other people, and so
that's what's up. Yeah,
but it's
awesome.
really cool.
I love that you guys. I'm so far out of the magic game. Obviously, I'm not a magician. I've never done magic. I probably don't have the hands for it. I'm such tiny. I can't even hold a whopper. I've got tiny hands, and so I'm like, it's just not for me. But I'm so far out of it. But it sounds very similar to like musicians networking and working together in comedies, and even like wrestlers, where you're like, what did you do for this? What kind of move? Like, it's great because being able to have a community almost and bounce ideas, and
it's just my wife all the time. We'll go into a new place or new city or whatever, and I'll hook up with just random magicians, and she's like, do you know him? It's like, no, I just met him like 10 minutes ago.
It's a fraternity.
It is,
That's
absolutely. Awesome. It's the same thing with guitar, It's, I play guitar as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I thought you were mentioning that earlier. Lots of magicians that I know are also musicians.
Yeah.
So it's just because they kind of go hand in hand. They realize you've got a lot of practice to do it.
It's using them hands, man. If you can,
absolutely, the dexterity of it.
Yes, it makes sense, and it probably activates the same part of the brain.
I bet you it does.
I bet it does.
Yeah.
It would make a lot of sense. Yeah, so we're cooler than you. I'm just kidding. He's like, I'm just a wrestler.
Well, anyway.
No. First of all, there's so much magic in wrestling anyways because there's so much like behind the scenes stuff that you're not trying to show the audience or trying to reveal to the audience.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Absolutely. Yeah. So first of all, like, wrestling's cooler than whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk.
He's like, guess what, guys? I do everything you guys do way better, so I'm the best. That's awesome.
Like, I just do it on all scales. Just wait for my mixtape to drop.
I've tried to get you to do that. You won't do it. Think about it? We're coming around?
We're always thinking about it.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
Next fight me and Kim have.
Yeah. I was afraid I was going to start one last night because she posted that photo and I was like, wouldn't it be funny? Because his girlfriend, who's I love Kim. She does my hair. She does everybody's hair. She's the best. Fade Salon. Check it out. Kim Stewart, Kim the chemist, and she cuts hair and everything. But she posted a photo of him and her, and she was like on his, and he was like laying with her, and it was such a sweet photo. And she's like, I love Jordan Bell, and so I was like,
the one with you.
Yes, I took the photoshopped myself badly on purpose so that it's obvious. And I was like, I love Jordan Bell, and then I meant to write 2, and I missed it. I messed it up twice, and then I was like, hold on. I hope I didn't make. I was like, I hope Kim knows I'm not making fun of her loving him. I'm just making a joke, like he's mine too. And then I messed, and then she had like laugh reacted, and as soon as she laugh reacted it, I messaged her. I was like, thank God, I just didn't want you to get upset. I was just trying to play. I'm bored at work right now. I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, we're in the car together. We're dying laughing. I'm like, thank God. I was like, I didn't want her to think that I was like, No, I saw it. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I showed her. I was like, look at him. Yeah, she's like,
she
this
started
guy.
dying laughing. So like, it was all good.
I was like, she's like, I barely get any time with Jordan between wrestling and everything you guys do. And she's like, and I finally get time with him, and then I post a sweet photo, and then Jordan's like, no, it's mine too.
It's mine too. That's mine.
It's my Jordan too. No, it's so funny. I was like, we can share. She's like, nope, and I was like, fair enough. She wins. And then she's like, I need to get a photo of me and your girl. So I went and photoshopped her a photo of her and my girlfriend. And then Courtney photoshopped herself in the back. Yeah. I love it. I love our people. Like, we have the best people.
Lots of free time on it.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, they forced us at work on Saturday, so I had to work an extra day.
I hate that.
And I'm at work and I tagged you, commented on my thing, and then I tagged him because he always says consent matters, and I just want to be like,
it does.
It does.
Send it to them. I did not consent to being forced to work.
Absolutely. I'll work 4 hours over every day, but when you force me to come
Exactly. Because I do. I work over. I worked like 12 to 16 extra hours every week, and then it ends up giving me like a nice boost on my check.
Yeah.
Well, now because of that, I worked 60 hours this last week, and getting paid for 70, which is great, and it's going to be a really nice check. But we just got our bonus. I don't need all this money. Don't make me. It's okay though. I'm not too mad about it now that it's over. It's it's the suck when you're doing it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Especially working. I don't work that hard.
It still doesn't matter.
I know.
Because we don't work at the same plant, but we work in the same thing. I work up north, and it's I just hate being forced.
Yeah, it's like, why are you making me work? I think we all kind of work it. Everybody works at the plant. I think everybody I know works at the plant. There's multiple plants, but it's all the plant.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember, you guys ever seen 8 Mile?
That should not be named.
Yeah.
The plant.
That when they're doing the plant. You've been working at the plant so long. You're a plant. Look at your boots. You're
growing roots.
Me and Shelby always do that back and forth to each other, like, because she's a huge Eminem fan. Yeah, it always reminds me of that, because, I don't want to say the name of the company, but we never try to put our name on the company name.
I don't even know what that place is called, to be honest. I just go there, they kind of pay me.
If they didn't pay
It's
me,
like
I
my
wouldn't
waist
show
size.
up.
It's like my waist size. It changes weekly. Nah.
Works. Keep me confused.
Yeah, that's all. I'm really excited for you guys doing this show, and Caleb, like I said, Caleb's done all this cool stuff, obviously, but you guys are the fraternity together, so you've done a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. I've actually, I haven't written books. I've had my original material in other people's books. I've had them in. There's magic magazines that are out there that you can buy, and there's of course thousands of books. I've gotten so much money in books, it's crazy. When I started taking money off on my taxes for my magic stuff, he says, you could take some of the back stuff off. Like how much money do you got in books? And I was like, you don't want to ask me that, because I've got tons of stuff. But some of them are friends that have said, hey, I'm doing a book full of other people's stuff. You want to contribute. So some
like
of my
a compilation
stuff's
book almost.
Yeah, compilation.
Awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. Your One's going to be coming out here real short from a guy here in town. His name is Tom Gagnon. He used to work at your plant. Yeah. Won't mention any names. Yeah. But used to work there, and he's like in the magic fraternity. Is like, you mention his name, and he's like really famous. So you've got somebody here in Kokomo like that.
See, that's the craziest thing about this town and we talked about this last week with Devin, and it seems to be a theme that runs with our podcast in general, is there's so many talented people in this town.
Absolutely.
It is a tiny town. It's not the smallest town, but it's not that big for as many talented people as we have. It's actually insane how many people that we've met doing this podcast and just living life, that I'm like, wow, how do people not know about this? Or that's why we like having this platform too, so we can shed light on this.
Yeah. Well, like I think I told you that it wasn't probably a month ago that I didn't know this podcast existed.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like, holy crap, this is excellent. So I just went back and binge. It was like Netflix. Awesome. I went back and binge watched everything.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
I suggest everybody do that.
Cool. That's why I was able to eat this week. I'm just kidding.
So on one of the very first podcasts we had, I said there's no such thing as famous people. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I could see that.
I still stand true to that, because like, you can make yourself famous, and there's so many fucking talented people in this town, around this area, no matter what you do or like what your unique thing is. Like, there's so many people that like just need to be highlighted.
Oh yeah.
We can just meet together like we are right now. Like I said, like Jordan, when I met Jordan, it was just at work. We would talk, we would have good conversations, and then it turned into us working together. And then Jordan started wrestling after, like I'd already met him, we'd already started doing stuff together, and he started wrestling later on. But it was something he's a manager. He manages wrestling, but you're a wrestler too. Yeah. To my head, you are. I know some people might say something different, but manager. If you take bumps, you're a wrestler, and you taking bumps. I've seen you take some pretty hard bumps. I just, when I look at when I see the whole of the sum of the whole parts, you know what I mean? Yeah. I just see so many different people that are so talented getting, and the more things we do, and that's why I think that show that we did at the American Dream High Five was so good.
Absolutely.
Because it had so many different levels
very diverse
of talented people that have, and like you said, you started at 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
What got you in?
Actually, my brother-in-law at the time showed me a card trick, and just like any good brother-in-law, didn't show me how it was done for like a month. And once I was taught it, I went to school, showed it to somebody, and people were like, even the teachers were like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So, and just me getting that feedback that we were talking about from somebody else, it just kept snowballing.
Please tell me you're better than him now.
Better than, oh god, yeah.
Yeah, that's the best when you're like, I don't I'm better than you.
What it was a mathematical card trick. It was one of those things where if you just do it, it happens.
Yeah.
So the things now I do is me. It's me. I'm taking credit for it.
Yeah.
So I just realized something. I don't know why I didn't think of it. You doing wrestling and everything. Caleb is huge into wrestling. He actually used to be a referee. His first book was called High Spots. Okay. And the second his DVD set's called Something in the Ring or something like that. So yeah, he's like huge into it.
So much.
That's awesome. I don't know if you know any about like he just did refereeing and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
He did a little not like he participated in a couple of matches, but didn't really wrestle.
I would be interested to know like what he's taken from wrestling and added to Magic.
I've never asked him that. That's a good question.
So
It's the only downside of not having him here because it'd be a really good question for him. But
Yeah.
it's also pretty funny because like in the Venn diagram of everything, like I do the musician
Exactly.
thing, and
And
you
how they
also
all
do the
overlap.
musician too, and then he's wrestling. It's like there's the Venn diagram. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
well, it's all creative.
Yeah,
and like
true.
I can already tell like you put so much like passion and like thought into what you're
Yeah.
doing in it already. And I think that's where it all soaks from and all stems from. People utilize it in different ways, but like
Yeah.
and it's
The choreography
in a different way.
There's a
Yeah.
choreography between the two of you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
What you guys do. There's such an important timing, and even in music, there's a choreography and a music and a timing aspect that like. You probably have to think a lot about like where I'm going next, and kind of almost have it planned out.
Part of it is like you're on autopilot, so the other part can think and go, okay, where am I going here?
Yeah.
And absolutely,
You have to be so good that's how it is with the lyrics. Is if I don't learn the lyrics and I don't have those on autopilot, it messes the entire performance.
Because
up.
I can play guitar, but to sing, it's going to be a jumbled mess.
Oh,
I can't do them both at the same time.
It's like I don't think humans were meant to multitask other than women. And even women, some women can't multitask. I'm not generalizing, but I read something recently that said that humans like innately aren't great at multitasking. It's something that we've developed over like in the last like 1,000 years. Humans have developed this multitasking ability, whereas before we weren't able to. We had to focus, and that's why we had hunters and gatherers. And this person did this because we needed people to do one thing at a time because our brains would get too. We weren't developed enough. And now we're getting way better at multitasking, and those are the people that are thriving in life and having more kids. So we got to keep having those people. If you're good at multitasking, have kids.
I can't push having kids.
Not in this world.
No.
I'm not sure if you're just promoting Reaganomics here. Because
I do have the Reagan Bush 84 hat up there.
There you go.
Yeah. We're all just products of that and
Yeah.
ADHD babies.
Yeah,
So-
Yes.
Well, those are all apparently all the idiosyncrasies in the human brain were all evolutionary things that we all that took over and made us good at certain things in certain areas. And apparently that's what they think like ADHD is. That's what they think like anxiety is. Like you have a pathway that gets turned on because you lived in a place where you were hunted more than you were the hunter. Oh. So you have this anxiety, so you kind of keep on edge. And I read a book from a guy that was explaining all that evolutionary biology, where he talked about even as far as going to like autism and things like that. There's an evolutionary basis for all of these things. That we think of everything as neurotypical. Everything's we frame the world as a small a box as possible. That's how it makes it easier for everybody in the moments. But I think as we spend more time on the internet and we're all more connected, we start to see these small patterns as we need to focus on these too. Let's learn more about these small patterns. Let's not just ignore them.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that we were talking before everything happened about that show Love on the Spectrum, and I think it's such a great show because you learn. But they have other ones on there where you can learn about people who have, like that might have Down syndrome and learn how their brain works. And I feel like it's super important when you meet people that are different than what you are in general. Yeah.
Just wait till we film my reality dating show where love is actually blind, where we take blind contestants and find them love.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey.
it's coming.
It's coming. They do have a show called Love is Blind right now.
I know, I can't bite that name right, but like, they're not actually blind.
Blind is love.
Yeah. Blind is love.
That's your little twist on it.
Yeah.
Isn't it just like just people mad the whole time?
Huh?
That show, isn't it just arguing?
I don't know. I haven't
seen it
actually
yet.
watched it. I should probably watch it for research.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Have you seen the Batman yet? You did just see it.
I did.
Right?
I saw
see
the-
it weekend?
With the new Batman.
Yeah.
What did I see yesterday? The worst vampire ever. It took him 14 years to become a bat.
Yeah. At least he did. We all knew it was going to
At least
happen.
he
That is
became
true.
a bat, though.
Yeah. But yes, I did see it, by the way. Yeah.
So we've all seen it in here now.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about it.
Yeah, but we don't want to get too spoilery. But how do you feel
It's been
about
2 weeks, man. If I've seen it, shut the fuck up.
it? How do you feel about it? It hasn't been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weekends.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I know.
This
Kinda.
comes out on Monday.
You're
It'll be
right.
2 weeks.
No, they come out on Friday.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Actually, it came out on Thursday. If you want
Yeah,
to be real typical.
yeah, because they no longer can do the midnight showings because the last Batman guy that ruined it.
Yep.
It's always the Batman.
It's always one guy.
It's always one guy with an
One
AR-15.
guy.
God,
One
ruining everything.
one cisgender white man. Anyways,
always blaming us. It's always our fault.
it's cool. Pretty soon it'll be my fault.
I know.
We
That's what
talked
we're
about
talking
this.
Soon enough, you're gonna be part
Turn's
of
coming.
it. Yeah. It's just gonna. It's always that us versus them mentality. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what are you excited for mostly with the show? I mean, is it working with Caleb? Is it doing it in a new environment?
I probably the new environment and working with Caleb. We did a show just Friday night. We do a thing every year. It's a charity down in Indianapolis at the state fairgrounds. They have it's called the Garden Patio Show. They do that every year at state fairgrounds.
I've heard that on like radio. The Garden Patio Show.
Yeah, exactly, that deep voice that makes something sound way more important than it is. It's coming at you Sunday.
Sunday. Do you like flowers?
This is for you. No, they show. I mean, they've got some amazing things. But the night before the week starts, they have a big thing where people come in, they auction off things, and people are there for hours, and they've got free food. And me and this year was 3 other magicians, and we walk around and entertain people. They have people standing up by themselves playing acoustic guitar. Last time they had it, they had a palm reader and stuff like that. So, but it was fun because, you know, like you said, you know, we're a little fraternity, so I've seen Caleb, but I haven't seen the other 2 guys for a long time.
Yeah.
So we get together.
Definitely pre-COVID.
Yes, exactly. So it was fun. I mean, I've got on my Facebook page, you can see some of the pictures I took, and I'll post some of the video and stuff like that.
That was my biggest regret from our show, is that we were trying to bring everything in, and I'm the singer, and people don't realize this, but as the singer in a band, and if you don't play the instrument, you have so much pressure to bring stuff in, because if not, then they're like, you doesn't do anything. Yeah. So like I have all this pressure in my head all the time where I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that just excuse me, shows up and like, I just have my microphone and I'm like, all right guys, let's get started. And they're like lugging in like drums and like speakers and all this and guitars, and so I'm always helping. So by the time I got done with that, I finally pulled my camera out, and you had already been on stage now, and I got to see some of it before I got my camera, like because you did, like, I'm not blowing up anything if I say, like, you did.
Trying to think what I did.
You did some cool pictures.
Oh no, I won't. Yes, I did that, but I won't be doing that this Saturday.
That was
so
really
yes,
cool, and
it was like the travel itinerary.
Yeah, exactly.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was so cool, and everybody was so like. I just remember being like,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, give. That's actually was the first trick that I've been starting to interject music and sound bites into my thing, and that's what I did. So for each celebrity, you have, you know, music that makes you think of that person or from the vacation. Yeah, so
it was really cool, like, because you had like the Hawaii,
and then you got Jennifer Aniston's music. You got from Friends and stuff like that. Yeah, everybody.
It's good because it brings you like those audio cues almost bring you into
takes you into a different. Yeah, exactly.
And just using all the different senses to like get somebody involved.
Exactly,
it's a good idea. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching you, and I was just I wanted to get my camera out, and I got so interested in what you were doing that I was like, oh no, and then I went and got it and got a couple of pictures. But that was like one of my big regrets, was like you were the first one on, we were still bringing stuff in, and then by the time I got settled and saw you, I was enjoying it more than I grabbed my camera.
Well, that's the kind of stuff we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing at the Elliot House, and we're limiting it to 30 people per show, because we want to be more intimate and to be able to do what I call close-up stuff, which is, you know, like me doing something for you here, doing it on stage. And so the stuff you saw me do there is stage stuff. I'll be doing some of that stuff, but not much. But Caleb's going to be doing the stuff that's like right in front of you, handing you things, and so things that you don't normally get to see up close.
So you guys get to be like involved in the show. It's going to be interactive. It's not just going to be like, so if you thought, I'm going to go out and sit down and watch the show, no, it's going to be way cooler than that.
Exactly. You're going to be part of the show.
That's
what's nice. You know, and you always get those people, well, if I could see that, I would know how it's done. Well, here you go. Take a look at it.
I'm going to blow up my buddy. He was my buddy, one of the guys in the band, Justin. He was like, I'm going to watch him and see if I can figure out what he's doing. And I was like, okay.
Good.
And he came up to me halfway, like, you were doing the close magic to everybody, and he came up to me, he was like, I watched him, he's so good. I'm like, why? He's like, I couldn't tell anything. And I'm like, he's a magician, bro. He's good. He's good.
That means I practiced enough. Good.
Yeah, and it was just great, because, like, it's funny. To me, it's interesting when somebody is skeptical. It's the same, like, with anything. Like, somebody doesn't like wrestling, and then they come to a show, and they're like, that was so awesome that I was closer. most of the time when people watch wrestling, they see it on TV. It's not the same. You can see the sweat. You can feel it on your face.
Absolutely. It's just...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
When I saw you, like, I was skeptical. I'm kind of skeptical about magic and stuff about like that too. I really enjoy it, but I've always been like, man, I really want to know how they do that.
Yeah, maybe I could.
It's human nature. It's
Maybe
human nature to watch it and wonder and stuff like that.
Exactly.
My favorite thing is I occasionally I'll perform in restaurants. You know, like I'll come up to your table and while you're waiting on your food, you know, you come up. So like if there's a long wait for your food, you don't realize there's a long wait. But I'll walk up to a table and they're like, oh yeah, my kids will love this, so I'm like, okay, so I'll start doing something for the kids, and by the end of the thing, the adults are like leaning in like this, watching, and I'm like, well, I gotta go, and they're like, no, keep going, so that's what, that's my little tagline, is that magic isn't for kids anymore.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not just for them, so...
Yeah, I have that. The funny thing is, there was no kids at that show. I think there was a couple, but not very many.
At the Corey's thing?
Yeah.
My son was there.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he was my roadie.
Your son was there, too.
My son was there.
And his friend was there. So that was pretty cool. And I think Jennifer's son was there, too, and daughter. Oh, yeah. They were there, which was great. And, I mean, there was a few kids, but, like, they're all older kids, too. They're not, like, young.
Yeah.
So that's what... When you think about a lot of magic, you do think like people will think like the clown at a birthday party. Exactly. But honestly, that's not what you were. You were way better than that.
Yeah,
than that could be.
I don't do that stuff. I actually tried to do it for a while, and it was like somebody who likes heavy metal playing jazz. I can do it, but it's like, gosh, I'm not getting anything out of it.
Right. And the funny thing is how close those two are.
Oh, really?
Heavy metal and jazz are really close, especially like nowadays metal, because there's a lot of weird time signatures, and they use like weird like different dissonant chords and stuff. So metal, if you actually listen to metal, it's way closer to listen to a symphony or like jazz than it is. But they are so diametrically different when you listen to them. If you listen to jazz, you don't listen to metal, then you probably don't. But if you listen to metal and you don't listen to jazz, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like it's actually really great.
Is that why when Metallica did that album called S&M where they did it with the symphony? Maybe that's why it works so well together.
It is, and there's so much room. The great thing about metal is there's so many lows, and a lot of the symphonies it's a lot of highs. So that's where you can actually balance it. I honestly think listening to there's a symphonic metal band, something Resist the Undertow. I think the name is the band. Resist the Undertow. But they did like a whole symphonic. There was a local band around here that actually did a whole symphonic thing. They were really good, and their drummer had to play with headphones on because they had a click track. And if he got off and threw the rest of the band off, the backing track with the symphonic stuff would get off, and they had a piano. And it was just such an interesting aspect of the music, and that's how I got an appreciation for heavier stuff. But it's because I'm like, I didn't realize. When I think of like heavy metal, I just think of a guy going, rah, 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 into a tin can. Rah, rah, rah,
exactly.
It's like dad rock where they're like, I'm not trying to listen to that, but there are people that do this metal music that the reason they love it is the intricacies and how different things are. And it's very much like jazz. So like that, in comparison, it's like, you can do both. You can do jazz, you can do metal, you can do them both, but they're still so different. There's it's a chasm between them, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's crazy. And I honestly think it's great that I think it's great that you guys are going to do something at a place like the Elliot House that like I know we keep coming back to it, but like that nobody really seen the inside of.
Absolutely,
I really haven't. And I mean, you said you've been in the.
This is a long ass time ago.
But you never went to the Elliot House.
I don't think so.
We're hoping that if this show does as well as we think it will, then maybe, I don't want to say next year, but the next time we do it, and it might not be me and Caleb, it might be two other people, it might be me and somebody, I don't know. But if it does well, we'll actually have it in the actual Cyberling Mansion next time. So, well, I mean, I've never been in there, so I don't know what their rooms are going to look like. But
well, I mean, hopefully... Yeah, I know we were talking earlier. Hopefully they can handle the calls.
Hopefully, I'll have to tell them, that they're actually putting it on this time.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
Well, I'm putting it on. They're just taking...
Yeah, they're just taking the calls.
Taking calls, yeah.
Listen, we've made places take calls because of us before, and they do not like it. Yeah. Nobody likes to be inundated. We actually, I got in trouble with the Cone Palace at one point because I made
the ice greased.
You'll never imagine. It's such a bizarre situation.
You don't mess with Kokomo people. Cone Palace.
Yeah, you drive over by Cone Palace in the summer, and it's like they have the entire road. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's so backed up. So I made a joke on the Kokomo Press a long time ago, like 2 years ago, and the joke was real simple. It was a bait and switch joke. That's all it is. Real setup, and then switched it up. And what it was, ladies and gentlemen, we had a bunch of business going on, like Victoria's Secret left after COVID and everything. So I posted like, Comb Palace is gonna be closing. They won't be around anymore. They won't be open. And then the bottom said on December 25th. So it was like a Christmas they're going to be closed joke. Yeah. And people didn't read the whole thing. They just saw they saw a picture of Comb Palace and it said store closing. And then they didn't read the whole thing. That's where they stopped reading. Yeah. And that was it. And people were sharing it. People were freaking out. And then I had somebody say, well, I've heard they've gotten calls all day where people think they're closed down. I'm like, I thought that it was so obvious that they wouldn't be closing down because they're so busy all the time. Like, you don't close down. It would be more believable if they said they were opening at a second location.
Absolutely. Well, that goes to show that people just look at the headline and don't even finish reading it.
Oh, yeah. And then somebody said, oh, you're going to get litigated. I'm like, for saying they're going to be closed on Christmas? What are they going to open on Christmas just to prove me wrong?
I'm pretty sure we gave them more business that day.
That's what I was saying, too. I was like, honestly, I was like, I want to see their sales from today versus the last week on the same day. Yeah. Tell me if it's more, because if it's more, all we did was give them a bump.
Yeah, and then honestly, we give us 15%. Just saying. 15%. Just saying.
50%
of the day.
Yeah.
Or free ice cream. Right.
I'll take that too.
I would go for the ice cream.
No, we got shit to do.
I got to spend money on other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Shelby, she gets a chocolate chip malt there. Oh. That's her favorite thing. Like, I'll drive
my wife's, there. Oh gosh, she loves it.
Yeah. How does your wife deal with the fact that you're like us and creative and have to leave the house? Is she okay with it?
She's okay with it. She went to that event with me last night so she could take some pictures and video and stuff. And she gets all the same questions. What's it like being a magician's wife? She loves watching other people perform, but not me. Yeah. Because she sees my stuff when it's, like, not fully learned.
Yeah, so she's kind of in on it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I'll come up to her and say, how does this look? And she's like, I saw you do something there. I don't know what you did, but I saw something happen there. And I'm like, okay, gotta go practice that.
Yeah, so
exactly. So she sees it in its stages, so she's kind of burnt out on doing
she's
it.
behind the veil sometimes.
Exactly. So, and same thing as my kids. Yeah. My son had somebody over the other day, and I did something for him, and the kid goes, AJ, how did he do that? And AJ just looks over and goes, it's a trick. It's like, man, you were so jaded.
He's just completely desensitized.
He just doesn't even care anymore.
Yeah, it's funny when I hear my son listen to like one of my songs. And,
really?
Or sing it and stuff. Because I write the lyrics, I write the melodies, and then I hear him singing, and I'm like, it's so cool. And now he's gotten into doing like little raps that he does.
Oh, really?
That's
like, awesome.
And it's so interesting to hear him do his raps and stuff because it's like it's almost rubbed off him in a way. Have yours started wrestling yet?
No, actually, I got weirder stories. So now, like, Ace comes home and tells me about like Ace could care less about like what the fuck I'm doing.
Doesn't care.
He's got his own thing.
He's like, cool, Dad, can I go like to the mall and shit?
Yeah.
How old is he? Sorry.
Ace is 14.
Oh, so. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, but he'll come home and then he's like, hey, my friend listens to your podcast. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird.
And then
he's like, no, like my friend like really likes listens to all your stuff and like watches. I was like, oh, this is kind of weird.
Is it weird for you? It's probably weird for Ace more than anybody because Ace is like, he's corny. Like,
yeah. That's my corny ass dad, right?
Yeah. But we're interesting to people that it's not their dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Nathaniel showed my old comedy bits where I'm dressed as Sharkeisha and stuff, like where I'm dressed as a woman, like, hey man, what's up? And it's like terrible stuff. I mean, it showed his 11-year-old friends. I'm like, what are you doing?
Kokomo Press YouTube.
And his friends like, no, they're so funny. You guys are so hilarious. And he's still at the age, because Ace is a little older than Nathaniel.
Yeah.
Nathaniel's still at the age where it's cool that I do this stuff. He likes it, and but I'm sure eventually he's gonna be like, my dad's corny too. I'm gonna get that.
What's funny? I think Ace still thinks like some of the stuff's cool, and like Jalen and Carter like see it, but they see it at a distance too.
Yeah.
So like when they come up close, they're like, "Oh, cool, that's cool."
Yeah.
And like he said earlier, they become jaded from it.
Yeah.
Like, they do this all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's that desensitization. Like it's really cool to other, and that actually proves the point a little bit more with Ace's friend being like not desensitized to it. That's like this is really cool. I like it. Whereas Ace is like, I've seen this so many. It's just my dad.
Yeah.
It's just dad.
That's just celebrities. Kids are like that to an extent. When they're not out doing whatever. But I bet you they're like that. They're like, it's just my dad. It's not that big a deal.
Give me another line.
Oh my god. Yeah. Your dad's
Big
Brad
deal.
Pitt. He's so hot. No, that's my dad.
No, that's my dad.
That's my dad. He's not hot. It's true though. I mean, like when you think about it, the closer you are to something, it's a really good analogy for magic. The closer you are to something, the more you think you're going to know. Whereas in your situation, you're hiding that. You're masking.
That's part of it. I practice so you don't see what I'm practicing.
Exactly.
Which sucks.
Yeah. We don't get to see the work behind the actual
Exactly.
trick. We just see the trick. And but you're so good that like you astonish people.
That's what it is. I mean, when I've been since 8 years old, I swear. I mean, doing tricks for kids on the playground and stuff like that. And like I said, it snowballed because the first magician I ever met live, I was probably 11, and he actually ended up being my high school math teacher. And then when I graduated high school, he retired and decided he wanted to go teach at a college. Believe it or not, he was my college math teacher. And then I got hired on a factory here in town, and I met somebody who's pretty famous magician here in town, and my math teacher and him are good friends. So it just kind of kept snowballing.
You had a path, like it's almost like a path.
Absolutely. I couldn't have put it down. It kept following me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I feel that.
It's
actually.
weird.
It's
odd.
Yeah, well, it's weird about wrestling and stuff because I've always been interested in it, but I started finding people close that were like in it, and I was like, and then not only did I find people that were in it, but like I had also found Jordan, who like we started doing skits and just different random stuff through Kokomo Press, and then it all kind of just like led into itself, right? So like it's a weird path, but like you take it.
absolutely.
Yeah. And doing multiple, we always talk about staying busy. Like we like to stay busy, like mentally and stuff, because you get when you don't have things to do and you idle hands. What is it? There's the idle hands.
Devil playthings.
Yeah,
or
there's
something
Devil's
like that.
Playground. Idle hands of the Devil's Playground. Yeah, and it's like you get sad, you get depressed, you get lonely, you get when you don't have things to do. But if you keep yourself busy, you can be sad, lonely, depressed while you're busy. So it's better.
There you go.
Or you can be sad, lonely, depressed, and stressed about whatever you're staying busy about. It's okay.
I'm sad and lonely, or I'm sad and depressed, but at least I'm not lonely. Let me just fix one of these. It's work. No, it's for me. I need creative people around me because I'm a battery in that way.
Yeah.
I like to, or I'm the opposite. I'm the guy who like needs I'm the forks. I need to be able to ping off people's energy because, like a perfect example is the other day Jordan showed me something that popped up. It was like, hey, look at this thing with Tipton. People were so upset that they changed the logo at Tipton.
The school.
The school changed their logo, and he was like, send this to me, and then I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, I messaged back and I was like, write it up, and then I was at the gym working out, and I was like, light bulb, and I was like, oh, and then I started making
thing.
And I made the Kokomo
Somebody
thing.
asked me if like we were talking about I forget what it was that you said. It wasn't real. The cone pals thing.
Yeah.
Somebody showed me that and said, look what they're changing their symbol to, and I'm like,
when you're in on the joke, it's way more fun.
Yeah,
right?
oh, absolutely.
It's way more fun.
I should have
There's
played
so
off
many
of it.
people. Yeah, there's so many people that I have people come up to me all the time. They're like, ever since I found your page and I know you, now I've had people that will bring up something that you guys have posted on your page, and I have to be like, no. They like, and that's why I posted the other night about thank you to everybody who comes to the page to say, hey, it's a satire page, because we used to have to do that ourselves.
I bet.
Yeah.
And when we get to a point where people come and do that for
Get
us,
tired of apologizing. You're like,
because
we
it's
don't
a
want to
job.
apologize in the first place.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a job.
you shouldn't have to apologize for a joke. What's funny about like the other day with that is that I sent him the Blue Devils thing, and I said, in my joking spirit, because he gets me, hail Satan.
Yeah.
now I see where that picture
And it's literally, honestly, it's such a collaborative thing for me, because him doing that gave me the idea to do what I did.
That's cool how you guys feed off of each other and
It's
create
important.
this.
The bad part about he said, hey, send me something, and I was asleep.
Oh, yeah. He's on third shift. I'm on second shift. Courtney's on first shift. So we're all all carrying the torch at different times. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's
But
cool.
I need that because I may have an idea and hey, pass this off. That's what we have our group for. Like that's
It's important in a group chat.
Absolutely. Well,
Even
that's
when they're
what-
bad ideas.
That's what we do with
Stop.
magic. When you've got a group of friends, you're like, hey, I've got an idea here. I know there's something there, but I don't know what. And you just get into a big talk with everybody, and they're like, oh, well, what if you did this? Or what if, and just becomes something awesome.
It's collaborative.
Absolutely.
It's super important. I mean, and it's funny because like I love hearing you relate it back to your the magic and things that you do, because obviously you're here. One of the reasons we have you on here is you have this great show coming up on the 19th at the Elliot House by the Sideway Mansion, Magic the Mansion. Check it out. Buy the tickets, $25. But like, it's great that you relate to that, because it actually lets us know that there is a fraternity. Because I mean, you feel like there is a fraternity of like comedians. There's people that do like acting. You're all part of a group, but the fact that you're able to like come up with something and be like, I know there's something here. I can't quite. I'm scratching the surface. Is anybody? And then somebody's like, "What have you tried this?" And you're like, "Boom!" And then it blows
something
up.
simple, and you're like, I can't believe I didn't think of that. That's easy.
It's great to have more eyes.
Yes, absolutely. You got to have somebody look at it with a fresh pair of eyes. Yeah.
That's what's up. I think when you have the community that you have, no matter what it is, like that's so important, because like you work hard at whatever that craft is.
Yeah. We
just had a situation that popped off over the last weekend in the wrestling world, where like this dude, we're naming him Rasputin Larry or something like that. I don't know.
Great name.
He randomly popped up at a show, right?
Oh, I saw that.
Did not talk to any of the promoters, did not know anyone there. Just popped up at the show, started changing into gear, and that went out and just started cutting a promo on this guy named Congo Kong, right?
Okay.
And like no one knows who he is. Like, so like why I was bringing that into is like, you have this brotherhood of people that work really, really hard on this shit. Like, like you never want like anyone to like discredit what that is with those things that you do. We had this dude was fucking nuts. Like, he's lucky he didn't die, because
it was in a bar, right?
He was in a bar.
Oh, the guy ring was in a bar.
The guy he called out, his name is Congo Kong, and it just imagine me, larger, darker, and a bigger fro, right?
Yeah. You're like, this man's gonna get himself killed.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know. I heard people yelling Gilbert, and he looked like the old Stone or Goldberg joke.
Oh,
remember Gilbert?
Yeah, Gilbert.
And they were Gilbert. Yeah, I said Gilbert, but it's Gilberg, I think, right?
Yeah.
Gilbert. Yeah.
Yeah, but he came in and he was wearing the tiny tights,
and
he
had
looked
some Russian-looking red tights.
It was just weird. He looked every bit. If you didn't get the context, if you just looked at, if let's say somebody posted the video, you couldn't hear anything, and you just saw the guy out there, you would think he was part of the show, because he looked like he came in like, oh, I'm here to do this, and everybody's like, we don't know who you are. What are you doing here?
Back in the back, the guys actually they rushed him. They forced him out.
Yeah.
They made him leave in his fucking red
gear.
Yeah, red shit. And like,
did we ever get an explanation from Rasputin?
No, we're still on the lookout for him. They still wanted.
I just want. Why doesn't he just release a YouTube video and say it was a prank, and then he'd be fine?
I'm gonna be on the lookout for him, because I'm going to, when I go up to Michigan next month.
Manage him.
No.
Manage him.
No.
He just got a famous.
He's a famous wrestler now. No, maybe
I should. Got a following.
No, I'm gonna kick his ass for the business.
Oh yeah. Is it bad that he showed up? Is it really like? Is it a big faux pas? I mean, obviously you wouldn't want that anyway. But
you don't want to find just
so okay.
Is it like? Do you guys see it as a fan?
No.
Okay.
No, I see it as really disrespectful. Say you were at a show, right?
Yeah.
And this band just shows up, or not even a band, just a singer shows up, like, and jumps up on before your set, starts singing. No one knows who he is. He didn't like blah blah blah. Isn't even very good.
How do you think I started?
I understand that. Same thing with him. If just some random magician that like
wasn't
jumped in on his show,
makes
like
sense.
You actually get that. When
I'm sure you do.
When you're doing like a show, right before you come out or something, like if you're peeking through, you'll see other magicians in the audience doing stuff for people, and you're going, "This is not your show."
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar. Like, I mean, I'm okay with networking. That's my thing. Is like if you're networking, but like usually ask. Like my buddy Matty went to a show, which is pretty cool actually. He got Justin, one of the guys in my band, was like, "Hey, there's a house show going on above a barn in like a loft area," and he's like, "What, a house show? I haven't heard of any house shows in bands lately at all." And then Maddie's like, "I want to go," and I was like, "I gotta work. I can't go. I'm sorry." And then Maddie's like, "I'm gonna go. You got the address?" He showed up to this place, and he gets there, and it's like a bunch of 20-year-olds, and Maddie's my age. He's 34, and so he's looking around. And he's like, okay, hey, is there a show here? And there were some younger girls up there, and they're like, "Yeah, it's upstairs." He's like, "Okay," so he goes up there, and he's like, he doesn't see anybody. He messages Justin. He's like, "Justin, we got." Justin's like, "Oh, I can't go now. My pregnant girlfriend said I can't go. And she's like, she pulled the I'm pregnant, stay home with me. And he's like, touche, you win.
Oh,
so we
you
stayed
win,
home.
yeah.
So then Matt's standing there by himself, and he sees one other guy, and his name's Brandon Tender, and his middle name is Lamar. So everybody calls him BLT. And he sees him there, and he's like, well, BLT's at every show. It's not a big deal. But he doesn't see anybody else he knows. And then he finally sees a guy he knows. He goes to talk to him. He's like, hey, what's up, man? He's like, yeah, my kid's playing. And he's like, I'm the same age as the dad.
Oh my god.
So he's come to this show to watch these bands, these are all young kids and bands playing, and Matt's like, I knew two guys, one guy who's at every show and one guy who's the dad. And he's like, that moment,
feeling old.
but he was there and he was like giving out the card, like, yeah, we got a band, you guys want to
cool.
networking in a way where, like, the good thing about musicians is, like, we can put them on a show with us, like, hey, you guys want to come do a show with us? And they're young kids, they've never played the record store, they're all playing house shows. So it's one of those things where, like, if the musician come up to you,
you're helping them out too,
Exactly. If the musician come up to you at your show and is like, hey, I'm a musician, I'm kind of new, do you mind if I do a little bit? You might be like, yeah, of course, man.
But you're asking, like,
but don't just do your own thing. That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
If Maddie got up there and was like, oh, I'm going to play, that would
like,
be weird.
what are you doing?
Although Maddie would have been good.
I mean, yeah,
he's very talented.
Because Maddie's amazing.
Yeah, he's talented. If
Yeah.
you're talented, you can get away with anything.
Yeah. If I just jumped up in the middle of the ring, people would at least be like, "Oh, at least he's good."
Dude, you just made me cry when I go. Making me think back to that video. I was like crying, laughing. I'm sorry. I'm like, my eyes are probably because it was so. I didn't get it at first, and then when I finally understood what was happening, I read the comments. I was like, holy! This guy wasn't supposed to be there. He was just he was wearing the tiniest shorts possible. He wasn't even that great a shape. I was like, what is he doing?
I said, for wearing tiny shorts, you got to have some balls to just jump into a ring and grab
just
a
be
mic.
stupid because there's too many big people in there.
There's a thin line between stupid and
yeah. You're right. That's a very thin line, and obviously it's the one right around his little area.
yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about that video was, like I said, I didn't know. I was watching it and I didn't get it, and then boom, I got it. And then when you just described it again, I was like, oh my god. It was just so funny when I finally got it.
Yeah. Well, the greatest thing about that thing is the commentary later when the two dudes they explain it. So like they explain what's going on. Hey, nobody knows what's going on. We just kicked him out. We're kicking him out in his draws, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
that was what I heard somebody say something like, and then I heard the cow going Gilbert, and that's what that threw me because I was like, it was like childhood was back to wrestling.
Right. Absolutely.
And that guy was always a joke anyway. They were making fun of. He lost every match. The WWE was so cool back when they were petty like that.
Yeah, when they were what was it, WWE and WCW when they were like fighting each other and stuff. That you had some of the best shows.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's the competition elevates.
Exactly.
Competition always elevates.
And now they don't really have any competition.
Well, they do. The funny thing is, for the longest time, I thought the exact same. But now that I've talked to, now I've been around Jordan and I've been around my buddy Maddie and Brian. Yeah. My buddy Maddie doesn't even watch WWE anymore. He watches this AEW.
I've heard of that here recently.
It's way more gimmicky.
Oh, really?
It's like they know that the fans are in on the joke, so they just do goofy stuff, and people love it because it's like it's just he bought the WWE 2K game, which you talked with Elliot House on his on the In Your House podcast about, and he bought it and he loves it. But he said he got what do they call it where you can change it, manipulate the game?
Oh, the expansion pack.
Yeah, he bought. Okay. Well, it wasn't even an expansion. I was thinking DLC 2 or expansion, but they have those things where people mod it. It's like a mod.
Oh,
they modded it to AEW. Their whole roster and then change the ring and everything.
They have that out now where their car, the creator wrestler or whatever. Yeah. Like you can basically import whatever you want.
You can import yourself.
So,
that's cool.
Yeah, I can't.
Have you made yourself on it yet?
I have to get the game first, but
oh, you don't have it yet? I thought you got it.
One step
at a time. Maddie. Call Maddie. Go over there and make yourself.
Actually,
I'd love to see you on there.
Let's just tell Maddie.
There you go.
I know you're gonna watch this.
Yeah, he does.
Just make the Marvelous Mr. Bell on 2K. I'm just saying. Duh.
And then after that, you've got your own game.
Yes.
That's in the works, right?
Also, check out the game that I am in. I can't remember.
Has it come out yet?
No, it comes out in November.
Is it indie?
It's that indie wrestler, indie pro wrestling.
It's exciting.
I can't remember.
It's gonna be such a huge game with all the wrestlers you guys have.
Awesome.
It's a very advantageous game, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, with the amount of roster that they have, so it's gonna be really interesting to see how they do that. They basically took a roster of the entire United States.
Wow, that's a huge roster.
Everyone who is a wrestler, indie talent, that they show their work in this. They basically accepted everyone in. So their roster is huge, full of wrestlers, managers, referees, territories, actual wrestling promotions.
Yeah.
So like
it's going to be the No Man's Sky of wrestling, just gigantic, just vast.
Yeah.
Like they think I got to get my kayfabe Lincoln before they put that out again.
You should put him in there.
Kayfabe Lincoln.
Yeah.
I just want to.
What kind of platform is that
It's
going to be?
It's going to be on Steam.
On Steam. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm far behind. Oh wait a minute, no, that's like what is it? The OBS kind of a thing, is it?
Yeah,
Or,
it's like for computers.
I thought it was just another version of that OBS.
Well, Steam has it's like a streaming service itself.
Yeah.
As far as gaming goes, right?
Oh,
it's like
okay.
the Netflix of games.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool, and it gives you the option that if you have a laptop that you can run it, you can just play it.
Yeah.
I wonder how big that game's going to be. Though.
I wonder.
You
too.
would
It's
think
gonna
a
be
lot.
huge.
Really
Maybe you only
big.
download who you want.
I
That
guess.
would be the smart way to do it.
Yeah,
You only
would.
download the people you want.
Yeah.
But then you guys have to get like an AACW pack. Like that'd be cool shit. To be
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
here's the AACW with everybody who's on their active roster.
I think that's the
That'd be
idea
cool.
that they're
That would
having
be-
is like where they link
smart.
people with their promotions and shit like that.
And then they become the hub for all wrestling small promotions.
Mhm.
They can all put themselves in there.
Basically, it's the indie game for indie game wrestlers.
Indie
Exactly.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's baller though. I like that idea. All right, well let's go and wrap this up. Let's do one more promo for what your show. Let's tell the people what you're doing.
We're doing a show March 19th at the Elliot House. It's called Magic at the Mansion. There's 2 shows. There's one at 6:30, one at 8 o'clock, and you can only buy tickets online. The link will be in the
Put it below again.
below here,
Yeah, we'll put it again.
or yeah, it's right about here. And the show is going to be probably about an hour long, maybe a little bit longer than that. Tickets are already on sale, of course. The first show is almost sold out. We're only doing it for 30 people, so we can keep it kind of intimate. 30 people per show, of course. And the first show is almost sold out, and the second show has got some tickets to it. So right now you can choose either one.
Yeah, so figure out what you want to figure out if you can make the 6:30 or 8:30. Get it going. You get to see the inside of the Elliot House. You get to see 2 really fantastic magicians, and just you 2, right?
Yes, just us 2.
And honestly, like I can vouch for him more than anybody. Like Caleb, you can check out on Penn and Teller's. What is it called?
Penn and Teller Fool Us.
Fool
Yeah,
Us.
you can check him out on YouTube, and you can find him on his Facebook page too. But yeah, if you search YouTube for Caleb Wiles Fool Us, you'll be able to see both of his performances there.
Yeah, and so you've got that, and then like I said, I've seen this guy personally, and I'll tell you he's good. I'll tell you that right now. That's exciting. So if you guys can make that, if not, come to Lafayette and see us if you're in Lafayette. So because we will be, I got a music show at the North End Pub. You're doing wrestling with
BMFX.
BMFX. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
Bad mother.
That's where I was going with the name. If that's not what it is, that's where I went.
That may be what it is. I'm not really sure. There's so many acronyms in wrestling.
Yeah, it might be Blowing Money Fast. Remember the old Rick Ross song?
Yeah.
Anyway, check this out. If you're in Kokomo and you're like, I'm skeptical, I don't know, do it. I'm telling you, $25 is actually really cheap. I think that's a good price.
We wanted to keep it, not low because we want people to think, it's just $5. We wanted to keep it right there at that mid-range.
And it's a night out. It's a night out.
Exactly.
Dress up. Put something nice on. Come have a good time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and take your girl, man. Tell her, hey, I won't disappear like your dad because I got a magician disappearing people for me. And this is perfect. And honestly, there's so many talented people. I'm so happy that we were able to meet you. I'm so happy that we were able to get you on the podcast with us today. Check him out, Jim Turnpaugh Magic on Facebook. I know you have that page. Mm-hmm. It's great. And then obviously buy the tickets. Come out and see him. I'm Jordan Granger.
I'm Jordan Bell.
Jim Turnpaugh.
This is Kokomo Press Podcast. Love you guys. 2 kisses. Hey, thanks for checking out the Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm Jordan Granger. Jordan and I are very happy that you guys tuned in. All of our links are available. We've got YouTube, that's right here. We've got our Twitters. I'm going to put those right over here. And then we've even got like Patreon. We've got Facebook. We've got Instagram. We've got all the places. So please check us out. And merch. We have merch. Check out our merch. Oh my God. We have merch. So if you love the Kokomo Press, you enjoy the Kokomo Press podcast, or you just want to, help out and do something with us, check out the Kokomo Press on merch on ProWrestlingTees.com. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on all the places that we have available. Thank you for listening to the show. We love you.
We'll start off with something simple. Just 2 rubber bands.
2 rubber bands.
Okay, one like that, one like that. That way they're kind of, locked in between your fingers and your thumbs,
Yeah.
But right there in the center, there's a small spot that kind of lets them come through.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We'll give you a close-up view. Take either one you like, okay, and stretch it between your fingers just like that. Lock it onto your fingers. Okay. Put mine behind yours and lower your hands just a little bit in case it breaks. I don't want you going blind. You can see that is actually, behind there, right?
Definitely.
But right there in the center, it's kind of...
What the heck, dude? How'd you do that?
Here,
That's insane.
We'll do it again. We'll do it a little bit different this time, okay?
Okay.
Watch this one right here, though. If you actually take that off and you kind of rub that into a little ball like this, it gets smaller and smaller until it just kind of goes away.
That's awesome.
Okay. Here, let's do that.
I'm so dumbfounded right now.
I know.
Now, I got started doing card tricks when I was younger, so that's what I prefer to do anything with. So we'll do this here for you. We're going to, instead of you kind of picking a card, I'm just going to go like this, and you just say stop somewhere.
All right, cool.
Okay. Right there. Take that card. Look at it. Show it to him.
Okay.
Okay. And put it back right here. Okay. Just like this. And we're going to try to find it, but we're going to use just the fingertips. Kind of a feel test here. I think your card is right about... Yeah, I think that's it. Wasn't it? 6 of diamonds.
No.
No. Okay. Was it... You sure wasn't 6? Was it the 8?
No.
No. That's 2 down. 50 more to go. How much time we got?
All time you got. All time you want.
No, okay. We'll do this. We'll take it and we'll kind of cut the time in half here. We're going to shuffle these into the others like this. And it seems kind of strange, but if I give it a little shake like this, something happens. Every card straightens itself. Every card except for one card. And we'll take this a step further. What's your card? The 3 of spades?
Okay.
There you go. To be honest,
I saw it in the thing, right? I'm like, oh, okay. Well, he's not gonna pick it. I just saw him shoot.
And he got it anyway.
well, now to tell you the truth, I did cheat on that last part. About naming your card because these cards are actually marked.
Okay.
But the cool thing about it is this. See here, hold on to that. See, you can't see the marks on these cards, but when you start to compare them with the rest of them, it's pretty
How
obvious.
did that just happen? Oh, my God, you got to show these people how.
Blowing my
Turn
mind
it
right
up
now.
towards the camera. The thing completely changed. All the cards are different now. They weren't different before. Oh my God, that's insane. How did that happen?
And that's why I do magic.
That is
that's
amazing.
amazing. You are marvelous.
God.
So, I could do one more thing for if you guys like.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
This is
do
awesome.
either of you guys like a dollar bill or a bill or any kind of thing like that?
I don't have one in
Or
here.
any-
Yeah.
Hey, cool.
Thank you so much.
This is actually it's more of an optical illusion than it is a magic trick.
Oh yeah.
But you know where the little E is on these things here? If you watch right about there, and see if I can hold it up here, you can take the marker and you can kind of, it'll look like it goes right through the bill.
Yeah.
And as long as you do this, now if you move your hand, it becomes really clear what's going on. I mean, it looks,
yeah.
I mean, you would swear that's right through that E.
Yeah.
Of course it's not. And you know how I know it's not?
How do you know it's not?
Because if I were to take this marker out, there would be a hole right there through it.
Correct.
And there's not.
Is that how?
No. That's not right.
I'm pretty sure he made the deal with that the same devil that you're talking about before.
Yeah. You're a crossroads devil, aren't you?
I didn't make a deal with him. I am him.
I am him. It's me. I'm the guy. That's awesome, man. You're so good.
Cool.
Like I gotta give you one of these.
Cool.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Mind is blown.
Yeah. I don't have any magic background. I've never done anything cool
Yeah.
like that in my whole life. So like when I see the stuff, I don't even want to know because I'm like, it's way cooler than anything I can do.
To me, that's what's cool is people who don't want to know who. I mean, it's natural to go, how the heck did that happen? But then once in a while, you just want to sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So,
It was awesome. Yeah.
Thanks.
Check them out this Saturday, the 19th.
Get your mind blown.